Welcome everyone. I don't play WoW, but I'm here to warn you this episode contains some fruity language and a serious amount of brain power.
Going.
I mean, I've had to, I've had to,
Cameras on.
I've had to put the record on here because we've just finished the podcast and everybody's stripping off. Frothy, it's like full Monty. Right, welcome to this week and the first week's episode of Gamecast94 and the podcast. Have we got a name for the podcast, boys, or
Well,
should we just sort of let it develop as it goes on?
I think it should be organic.
Yeah. So welcome to Gamecast94 organic podcast, purely World of Warcraft and maybe something else when we play something else. So introductions, who we are, what we play, what we want to play in Shadowlands. I think is a good kick-off. Yeah. So Luke, you want to go first?
Yep, I'm Luken. Is my nickname.
Midwater.
It's just a mashup of my two names, Luke Noble. I've been playing World of Warcraft since pretty much all the way back in vanilla. Been in a few guilds, some hardcore, some casual. But now we're in Thunderclap vs Cheeks. I'm full of it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
That's great. So what are you playing right now, Luke, and what are you gonna be playing in Shadowlands?
Playing Havoc Demon Hunter at the moment, and in Shadowlands, I'm planning to play Sub Rogue.
Cool. So you're going from playing keyboard hitting class, just bam bam bam, to
well, there's a lot of skill in Demon Hunter, but you know, just to go to the more OP class because we're nerfing Demon Hunters, it looks like. So you know.
Yep. Cool. Well, welcome. DT, over to you.
All right. I'm the Thrasher. They call me DT because it's kind of a Belgian take on the name because it's kind of hard to pronounce in English. I'm currently playing a Resto Druid. I have been playing a Resto Druid for my entire WoW career, if we can call it that. I've been playing since Classic, the original, Burning Crusade, the expansion after that a little bit, but I stopped then. Decided to go out and get in the real life for a change. Came back for Warlords of Draenor. Rated that expansion Mythic, cleared it, cutting edge. Had to stop because of work again. Kind of hard to combine the two because I don't enjoy much other things but Mythic rating. So you really need your time to do that. So came back about a month ago or a month and a half ago to the game. Joined these guys in Thunderclap, those cheeks, and back to rating Mythic.
Brilliant. What are you playing in Shadowlands? Did you say that or?
Well, I've been playing Resto Druid my entire life, so I'll probably remain Resto Druid. I might try out some different classes, but it's kind of like going on holiday. So it's fine for a week or two while leveling. It's kind of fun. It's always good to come back home.
That's cool. Well, welcome DT.
Thank you.
Dentasha. Right.
Thank you.
Up to the man above me, the guy that looks like Arthur Hobbs out of Peaky Blinders.
He kind of does.
Hello. Yeah, so my name's Alan. My in-game name is Frothy. The reason it's called Frothy is because a long time ago when I made it, I didn't really know what to call my character. I had a drink and had some froth on it, and that's the reason I called it Frothy.
How am I only just hearing about this?
Well, I've got an interest. If you look at the names of my older characters and stuff like that, because I've been playing the game since Burning Crusade actually. Started off playing a warrior. Not for very long though, because I think during that period I must have quit the game about 10 times because it was just the leveling experience was actually rather torturous. Leveling a warrior, and then when I leveled it up, I more or less stopped playing it immediately and started playing a rogue called Rogue DPS.
And what spec was that then?
He was DPS.
Quite fair.
Not a healer rogue. Not a healer rogue. Although we did mess around with some really high dodge builds back in the day. But yeah, I've been playing a rogue kind of up until sort of Eternal Palace.
Yeah.
So raided pretty much since I could, but badly, and started to come into my own, I suppose, in Mr. Pandaria when I actually started to get to grips with the game properly. You know, I think that was when Mythic came in, wasn't it? Yeah, Mr.
Yeah, yeah.
Pandaria. So playing then, playing with the same guild throughout Kata, Mists, and WoD as well, on and off. We missed a couple of tiers, so the guild was like on and off. It'd break down, would come back, but it was the same group of players that we were generally playing with until it kind of finally fizzled out in Legion. And then, you know, the guys that I ended up playing with them, some guys that are in Thunderclap Those Cheeks now, actually. And
All right, I think I've heard. Yeah, there's just a guild you were in before Thunderclap then.
yeah, so when I was kind of messing around in Eternal Palace and a bit and stuff like that in 8.2, I quit the game and I came back with because a couple of our friends in the guild, you know, Jack or Zap and Ecstasy, so they convinced me to sort of come back. I came back. I couldn't really do much on my DPS because I couldn't really get into any groups, so that's actually why I rolled healer. Because I play a healer now. I play a Holy Paladin.
Okay.
That's fun.
I bet it is.
Never played a healer before, but it is definitely a good time to have picked up Holy Paladin. But
It
yeah,
is.
we ended up getting in a guild called Tired, because obviously you all joined sort of Thunderclap Your Cheeks and because as a pre-existing thing, and we all got in a guild called Tired, and it was tired actually. You know,
Tired of it. Yeah, I'm guessing
half
you got.
the members were tired. Actually, they were awful. But you know, we got
Mystics offer, just to
we
warn
got
you.
we got so far with them, and it wasn't for us. But the positive of it is, you know, half the roster we've got now, we kind of met and formed what we have today, and obviously very quickly. As we'll talk about in a bit, done reasonably
That's
well
good.
in a short amount of time.
So just for the listeners / viewers as well, Frothy is one of the officers in the guild that we're currently in.
Yep.
Whereas the rest of us are just peasants.
Well, it's kind of a boardroom, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
not like
Well, I mean, basically, I have shoes and you guys don't, so
It's kind of like Dragon's Den, isn't it? Really.
yeah,
And then Rex is just the Alan Sugar.
yeah, like we.
Alan Sugar's not in Dragon's Den.
No, but like if he was,
Who's that
though.
other one with the the
Peter
balding
Jones.
fella? No, he's
No,
all right. No,
not a bit
you
tall.
look like Peter Jones, actually, Luke, in your outfit.
Have
You're
you ever
fired.
seen Peter Jones? You're fired. That's Apprentice. Right. Off topic. So Frothy, what are you gonna play in? I mean, everyone wants to know this. What are you playing in Shadowlands, mate?
Do you know yourself?
I want to know this as well. I'm not sure. So I think I'm going to stay healer. I've kind of got this based on. I kind of just don't want to mess up the sort of comp we have now because I think it kind of works well.
Yeah.
I think that we've got a long way to go as a healing team, but I think that the two, you know, the month and whatever we've been playing together, we're finally starting to come into our own now.
Oh, yeah.
At least the three of us here. Obviously,
Yeah.
the fourth spot's a little bit in the air at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah. So for viewers,
but
myself, DT, and Frothy are the three of the healers.
Yep.
In the guild.
But I think I just don't want to, you know, I don't want to shake the tree. You know, I think it's a good thing. I am enjoying myself. It'd be
Are you when you said shake the tree? Did you mean shake DT? Being the
yeah,
rest of
shake
the
DT. You know.
Hey, I'm always up for hugs.
I'm, you know.
So we just want to apologise as well for Luke because he has got horrendous internet, and it looks like he's froze out. But I think he can still hear us, so we'll just let him come back in. So Frothy, come on, are you going to announce it on the podcast? What is your class for Shadowlands?
I think that a general consensus as well. I'm going to be either playing, depending on our fourth spot, probably Discipline Priest or sticking at Holy Paladin. One of the two, because I know that we do have a potential fourth. I might be playing Discipline Priest, not sure.
Yep.
It's definitely up there for me, as it is one of my favourite healers, and I do think it's necessary.
Cool.
Yep.
But
Cool.
you know, I could 180 and go DPS and fuck you all, but you know, that's not what
That's it. Well,
I'm thinking.
Frothy mate, we'll wait to see it. So,
Yeah.
my name is Kane. Kanan on the game. Don't know why I've got an N there. I guess it's because Luke's my brother and I wanted him in my name. Played for.
Everyone wants to be an N. That's what you got to work towards.
That's it, yeah. Played since Lich King. Enjoy it. Played a priest pretty much for the whole of WoW. Holy priest, though. I ain't one of these
Hopefully,
up here. These disc
hopefully we're
boys.
looking at a Frothy N and DTN soon, but
Yeah, so played Holy Priest throughout everything. Tried disc yesterday in raid. Did not like it.
It was definitely
I think at one
an
point I
interesting
actually,
experience.
yeah, I actually ramped, then pressed praise suppression, thinking it was evangelism.
I mean,
and
it is a
watched the video
similar
on me.
picture.
So I've got glasses though. So we're all
It's a
good.
similar picture. It's an easy mistake to make.
That's it. And what am I playing in Shadowlands? Probably a healer. I'm gonna change it up. Holy doesn't look viable anymore, so
Anymore.
we're yet to see. Guildmaster thinks I'm playing the Resto Shami, but obviously don't tell him I've just been trolling him. I'm definitely not playing the Resto Shami.
Yay! Yay!
Great for everyone to get to know us a little bit, and also now, so what are we going to expect from this podcast going forward? Obviously, we're going to try and do them weekly. We should be all right with it. Once Shadowlands hit, we're going to be hardcore raiding 5 to 6 days a week. So we'll see if we can. I'm loving that none of you have actually got worried at that 6-day comment.
yeah,
You
that's
happy?
well. I'm definitely not doing it. I'll be leaving the guild if it happens, man.
That's my
Yeah,
plan.
That's
Well,
good.
we won't be main raiding, but you'll have 3 main raids going on. You'll have heroic off raid going on. You'll be busy,
We'll be busy
every
bees.
day. Yeah.
Busy bees. And we all
Yeah.
book time off work. We all
Well-
got
Yeah.
that week off.
Yeah,
Kind-
booked a week off.
It's kind of delicate right now because I'm still on technical unemployment. So it's kind of hard
Alright.
to yeah. It's a little sensitive, but I still have days left, and we'll see. But even then, I raid before, after work, doesn't matter.
it.
Who needs sleep?
So
Yeah.
let's tell
I
people
might
what to
book it up.
expect. So first thing I think obviously from the video as well is mythic content from raids from different perspectives. Obviously you had my Holy Priest perspective on the video. We're gonna have DTs and Froppies as well.
Yep.
Luke obviously needs to get some more like guinea pigs to run on the wheels for the internet before.
Well, my
like
computer's
that.
fine. I can record stuff and just bring it to your house for you to do with what you want.
Alright, yeah. So
Just not 2
Nice.
o'clock on an
on an
on a
afternoon.
Wednesday again.
So
That was a
obviously
long drive.
we'll have that. We're gonna have some Keystones DT, aren't we?
Yep, we
Some
can.
Mythic pluses.
Yeah, Mythic Plus content is definitely coming. We'll try to get other perspectives as well, so not just our perspectives, but other guildies that are recording. Weave that in there, especially for bosses who have separate phases, which so you can see everything of the fight.
100%. What else we're gonna have in there, Luke? Frother PvP elements, I think.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
some
I
arena?
might not be in them videos, but we'll definitely make sure they're here.
I think the
I'll
first PvP video has to be Frothy in the video. Now he said that, so thank you for
I'll-
Yeah,
volunteering.
if you want to see some PvP badly, then absolutely tune in to me. That'll
We're all
be
up for a bit of trolling, aren't we? I mean, we could
Yeah.
always make it a meme.
yeah.
I'll definitely be up for some arena. I'll be doing arena.
Yep.
New season. I love it.
Yeah.
With Mythic Plus, I'll be straight in that. I'll be doing
I-
anything.
I actually thinking as well, like something I've never really cared about on this game. I know a lot of us do, but I haven't. Is sort of the collector aspect of the game and being a collector. So sort of getting all the achievements, getting all the mounts, sort of getting all the titles, getting everything in an expansion. So if we think of it now, for an example, you kind of getting all the achievements, you're getting the achievement mounts, you're getting the rep mounts, we're getting all the essences to rank for, all that sort of completionist stuff, even the pest. And it's something that I've never really been into. My mindset has always been, does it give me player power? No, don't give a shit.
That is a Holy Paladin's mentality, though, isn't it?
Well, to
yeah,
be fair,
I mean,
stuff,
very
I've got your
one-dimensional.
name down here, because you're going to be providing the Pokemon aspect of the podcast.
Yeah.
All the
So,
new pets coming
so
out.
this guy
and-
up here, he's the Professor Oak of Pet Battle. So that's.
Yeah, it's the
Smart.
glasses.
I'm
so-
also thinking, boys, we can, when Shadowlands launches as well, maybe them first few weeks we can actually get a bit of maybe questing sort of like as a group, obviously having a bit of a laugh.
Yep.
Maybe like doing Shadowlands content.
Yep.
We can get some of that stuff together.
Yep. Disclaimer: we might be drunk while we do it.
Yeah, there's very high possibility we'll be drunk today.
It's actually quicker to level if you're in a group
juice.
though, and you're
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're organised.
I think we're all gonna
it's
do. Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
an option, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I said, like
we'll probably have other people on, so we'll have guests on. So for the collectors, we know a couple of people who are hardcore collectors who spend, for example, 600k or 500k for a mount.
crazy, isn't it? Crazy.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not my
actually
thing,
thinking though, I might try and take that lens in Shadowlands. I might try and be that guy that gets everything because I always look at people that have all these mounts and they have all these titles and I think that's really cool, but actually my mindset is, does it give me DPS? No, I don't care.
I think it's one of those things that unless you get into it, you won't enjoy it. You
But
can't
then
half
you
enjoy it.
can't get into it too late either. Like I can't even turn around now and think, I want to get the crab from Nazashire. I want to get all that stuff because it's too late. It's too far gone.
Yeah, but it's like caviar though. You don't really get into caviar until you try it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Terrible reference. I don't know, but I mean I've never had fish poo.
Have you had caviar?
No, I'm not really a fan of animal excrement. Is that the right word?
No, I mean
I don't know. I eat eggs, just chicken eggs.
I think it's a general opinion, honestly.
Yeah, so I think what we're saying is obviously we've got all that content, and then we're gonna have a lot of guests on, probably one a week, where we'll sort of ask them questions and get some of their feedback. Probably start off with a few guildies. We've got ex-guildies, other mates. Obviously, if any randomers want to come on at some point, we're down for that as well.
I definitely think we should do a kind of, pluck someone from trade chat and.
Yeah, I think we'll start doing some. You people give us requests. We'll do some
new players. I think new players would be a really good.
Or even you're the viewer. If you want to get on the podcast, let us know in the comments.
That's it. You'll be the only one, so just give us a shout. Shouldn't be too hard to find you.
Yeah.
I like I said viewer, not viewers. Just,
and I think obviously we'll look at getting some of the iconic members of our guild in. We'll get the angriest man in Europe. We'll get him in. I'm sure that'll be full of swearing, so we'll probably bleep out some of that stuff.
The best fisherman you've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's the internet. You're allowed to do whatever you want on the internet.
Well, if we're doing all viewers, we can get my mommy in. Hi, mommy.
Yeah, so. We can get mommy. We can get my dad.
Oh yeah.
Come and give us like a Thai masterclass. For those that didn't see, it took me about 3 hours to set my Thai up today. But yeah, so that's what to expect. I think it obviously sets it out quite nicely, and we'll see where we go from there.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited.
So I guess we'll start with my man on the top left, Mr. DT himself. What did you do this week, DT?
Played a lot of WoW, obviously, since I started the expansion pretty late. I've been playing like a month and a half now, so I'm still catching up on a lot of things, even we've cleared the expansion pretty much, but I always want to get better for re-clear, stuff like that, and see how far I can push myself, because it's also preparation for the next expansion. So farming the horrific visions for sockets, for example, trying to farm heroic for the cloak upgrade, as well as the visions, of course, and getting rep for no reason at all, but just have it exalted. That's pretty much my week. Thankfully to a lot of guildies who helped me through the horrific visions, because it's kind of hard for me to do the 5 masks since I'm fully gearing my resto. I basically do not have any boomkin or feral gear. It's just what I get from resto, and I don't. That's all my efforts going into that. So that's pretty much my week.
It's not easy as a healer to do a 5 mask, but you've obviously got guildies that'll help.
Yeah.
Trying a holy paladin.
Cool. That's cool.
Yep.
Frothy, what have you been doing, mate?
Not fucking much, really. So obviously we've done the re-clear.
Attempted it.
We've started doing the re-clear. Obviously we spent a while just extended skill, and there's off to talk about that later, but we still said we'd still commit to 2 raid nights, obviously, just to keep active, keep playing. Because it's important just to keep that dynamic going even in a more relaxed environment because we're not progging or anything anymore.
Yep.
So we started the reclear, that was fun, just getting some passes or, just wiping, also fun.
A lot of wiping.
Well, it's fun for you because you're sniping all the heals.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think, what was it, like 60-something% or 80% of your spells were Holy Shock in that one fight? It was somewhat
yeah,
ridiculous, wasn't it? I think that's the Holy Paladin right now.
it is what it is. It's a very fun time to play Holy Paladin. I don't think it'll happen ever like this again. I think it's comparable probably to Warlock in Siege of Orgrimmar.
It's end of expansion scaling, isn't it? It's just out of
Super
control.
busted. Yeah, it's end of expansion scaling plus corruption scaling. Like, just kind of stupid, but yes, fun nevertheless. Honestly, the only thing I've really been doing, and this is including whilst we were progging as well, is just prepping characters for Shadowlands, really.
Yep.
So I've managed to get every class now to 120.
Poggers.
Obviously, so not only have we got all the healers, so I've just got every class available, and just getting them to around like 450 gear level, something like that, just so the leveling experience should I choose to level that class in Shadowlands isn't kind of slow and painful as you all probably know. You've all probably leveled a character in BFA using heirlooms instead of the Azerite. You get 7 shades of shit kicked at you, and it's awful. So I just don't really want that experience because obviously from what I've been reading as well, they've kind of increased the XP needed. They've kind of drawn out that leveling experience a little bit. So
well, it's less levels as well.
Yeah, I want that to be as least painful as possible, and that's it really. I think a lot of the time I've just kind of spent hanging out with the guildies and just
talking shit on Discord.
Talking shit on Discord, kind of like this, but just not recording it half the time. And
yeah, that's pretty weird. Maybe we should just record our conversation on Discord and just bang it out there as a podcast.
I think that's one of the best.
We might get banned.
Yeah, probably definitely.
Yeah, we definitely get banned.
I mean, we already got banned from Reddit for that video.
Yeah, that was pretty bad as well.
It's back up though.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Didn't Frothy call? What did you call the admin?
Bender.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No, because they banned the video originally because the title contained, well, we killed this, and I was like,
Maybe we should tell the people what video we're talking about.
Get a grip,
To be fair, we'll put the link for the video in the comments.
Yeah.
Because it is hilarious, and one of our guild mates, Lena, actually made it, and it's a montage, and it is hilarious.
It's one of the funniest things I've
seen.
It's absolutely unscripted. It's just a compilation of those moments that are fortunately captured.
Yeah.
You get one of me singing "Gloria Gaynor," which was quite fun.
I don't think it's funny just because we're from the guild. I think
it's funny for everyone.
Will find that hilarious.
Oh yeah, it is quite amusing, some of the conversations. But that's good. Frothy's had a busy week then.
Yeah.
Luke, my man, Mr. Luke End, the new rogue, sub rogue, best rogue EU people say.
Yes boy.
We don't know yet. What have you been doing apart from trying to connect to Discord with your internet?
So, I've bit the bullet and I've decided to start reading about Shadowlands. Because you know me, I like to keep it all a secret. Launch hits, I like it all to be a surprise.
Immersion.
Oh yeah, I like to just go in there and everything's new. But I think
that is you.
I have bit the bullet though, because for this podcast we're going to be talking about it. I don't want to be in the dark, not contributing anything. So I wanted to wise up a little bit.
Wait, are we? I might have to start reading up then.
Maybe in future podcasts next week.
Spoilers.
But secondly, I'm also going rogue, and since we're in a bit more of a progression guild than our last one, I don't want to go into raid and absolutely be rubbish at it. I'm going to read on my rogue changes. I've made a rogue. I bought one because I don't do leveling, that. I just bought a rogue.
How much did you pay for that rogue?
I think it's 49 quid.
I'm just getting a phone call here. Should we take it onto the podcast?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Good dude.
First guest.
Hello.
First guest.
Hello.
Is that Kane, mate?
Yeah, speaking.
I'm calling from Direct Insurance. How you doing?
Not bad, mate. Can you call me back? I don't need any insurance, mate. I'm all good.
Do you know any Afghani people?
Do I know any? What?
Any Afghani people?
I think he's being racist.
Oh, Safi, is that you?
Okay.
Yo, let me ring you back in like 10 minutes, bro. I'm at home. Let me ring you back. I'm just doing something. Yeah, no worries. That's my cousin in Bradford trying to get me to go out. Trying to tell me direct line insurance. Sorry, Luke. Anyway, back to you.
I was just saying, I just got a rogue. Just bought a rogue. Spent all day today reading up on it. You know how it currently is in BFA, what it's going to be like in Shadowlands, what the changes is, stuff like that. Just kind of wising up a little bit. That's what my week's been really, just Shadowlands stuff. I'm a proper nerd when it comes to like proper trying to get into a class. So I'll just read everything there is to do about it. So that's what I've been doing.
Can you tell us about some rogues? What's making them overpowered then?
Well, they're introducing, as far as I've seen, I've only been reading the past few days, but as far as I see, they're introducing a lot of like baseline abilities across from different specs. We're bringing like a slice and dice into it, some other abilities and rupture, and just kind of beefing up the spec as a whole. I think that's obviously what
the sub is sort of going back to not mirror, but very closely follow its iteration, which was in Warlords of Draenor, which was very much based around regular burst windows with Shadow Dance and taking advantage of the Find Weakness debuff, which are features of the game at the moment, but they just don't work very well together. It's kind of clunky.
Well,
they're kind of just streamlining all of that.
Yeah.
Beefing
it up. But it's making me anxious because, as you know, I've played pretty much every other class in the expansion apart from Rogue. So, you know, if you give me a class and tell me to go raid with it, I'll be half confident that I'll do a good job. Where now I'm actually feeling pretty anxious because I've never even touched a Rogue before, and I'm going to be raiding with it in a month's time, just over a month's time.
We're all excited to see that fail, and we're really.
Well,
DT
I don't think I'll
so
fail.
Excited.
But it's anxious and exciting for me at the moment. So
yeah,
that's my week so far. Kane Shift.
Good man, good man. So what have I been doing?
What about you? What about you?
Oh, I tried Disc for a raid. That was horrendous.
I mean,
isn't that because it's the first time?
Yeah, so I'm not just obviously so people know. I played Disc. I've always played it in dungeons because obviously Holy's not really that strong in dungeons. However, I've never raided Disc just because I've always preferred Holy. I'm a big sort of CD kind of man. That doesn't mean like a disc, by the way. I'm on about cooldowns for those that don't know that terminology. And yeah, I just didn't enjoy it. So I've been playing a bit of Resto Shami. Me and DT did a bit of heroic Nilope today, last two.
Yeah, you did good.
Yeah.
On your Resto Shaman.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, I went in the solo heal one of the phases with a bunch of what do we call them?
I had to come in and carry ends off, but
very weak players. I think the average DPS is about 30k on it DT until Luke came in.
Let's say they were skillfully challenged.
Yeah.
How did you find the whole Resto Shaman healing?
Unleashed Life is insane. So this guy that you raided with that didn't use it, I don't know how he healed.
Oh, yeah.
I genuinely don't know how you'd heal without that because it's so strong.
Yeah.
Like it makes your Riptides insane. It makes your chain heals even better. It's good. I think obviously, I've always loved Shavers. Always want one in the raid because I think Spirit Link Totem is one of the best cooldowns in the game.
I thought you like it because I think it's probably as close as to Holy Priest as you can get.
Yeah,
outside of cooldowns anyway. Outside of cooldowns.
Yeah, chain heals obviously quite strong.
I think Cloudburst was one of my favorite.
Yeah, I love Cloudburst. That's the reason I love him so much.
I'm still trying to get my head around the best way to use Cloudburst in a raid. Obviously, I'm sure it's very easy, but you've got to get used to them spells, aren't you?
Yeah, you gotta have a feel for it. Yeah.
It's sort of like it's like Disc in the sense that
it's kind of like a mini ramp in it.
Because you've got to ramp the Cloudburst. So if you know the damage is coming in, X amount of seconds. I just can't remember off the top of my head how long it lasts.
12 seconds.
So if you know that Torment's coming in 9 seconds.
Yeah,
10 seconds, you basically drop it, you pump into it, and then when that mechanic goes off, quickly followed by, a burst of healing from Cloudburst, it can really help to sort of soften.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it.
It's just when you want to spend your mana, really. You put Cloudburst on, you just want to spam those healing surges and chain heals, get the healing into there.
For me, I think the one thing that I really did enjoy was Visions of Perfection Major and having them monetized because they proc a lot. Like they were proccing a lot more than I thought. Yeah, they're really good. I really like that. Very similar to a priest where him procs, and it obviously that applies. So I love it. It was good fun. Would I main it? I don't know. I haven't picked out the healers yet. Still got a bit of time.
Yeah.
I'm
You
not.
need to have a
I'm
good
not
feel
committed.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for pre-patch. Once pre-patch hits, and I can try all of them, how they're gonna look, then I'll pick.
Yeah.
At the moment, like similar to you, Froffer, and DT and Essence as well. I don't really mind. I'm happy to heal and keep the same healing team. I'm also happy to swap up classes that we play because it's always good to change.
Yeah.
and
Well, the
obviously,
meta
like,
changes as well, and I think
That's
we're
it.
going to be pushing much harder next expansion because the guild only formed like I don't know 2 months ago or something.
we got on cutting edge straight away.
And we got
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that our vision when we founded this guild with I think 7 of us, we were all kind of running around Orgrimmar. We left our old guild. We didn't have a team,
Mhm.
but our vision for Untold Shadowlands was purely based around getting a team and building the dynamic.
For Shadowlands.
Yeah,
Which
for
I think you've
Shadowlands.
Yeah.
It's not that we didn't give a shite about going in back in Nylofa. We did, but it was definitely a byproduct of the primary.
Did
which
you
was
expect to have a full capable raiding team so soon?
Yes, but not so soon. So yes, to the first part, I did expect to get one because I knew we had a really good core,
Mm.
but not and nowhere near the turnaround that we managed to do it in. Obviously, it kind of organically develops in the sense that you get some good players, you kill some bosses, so you're kind of a bit more thought of, so you get some more good players apply. And don't get me wrong, we went through our share of bad players as well.
Mm.
Um,
Probably, yeah.
yeah, not to mention any names, Katana, but it's kind of it kind of it kind of works together. You do better, you get better. And
Yeah.
we kind of I don't know when now, probably because the guild's existed for a couple of months, but this team hasn't existed for that long, right? So maybe a month in total, and we just absolutely started burning through the bosses, and before I knew it, we were on the Zoth, and I was like, this is happening.
Yeah.
And we killed it in good time.
And I think that leads us nicely onto which Froffer you can carry on with onto the main topic. I guess is our Nizoth cutting edge kill, which we got.
Yeah.
When did we get it? Was it
This
Monday?
Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Monday.
Monday.
On
Yeah.
Monday,
So we killed it on Monday. I think what was it? 143 wipes. I think we counted.
A
Yeah.
little bit more, I think. It was definitely around the 150 mark, so still low. Still
good. What's the average, Luke? Is it 250 or something?
I think it is around 250. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
So that obviously that kill was obviously quite tense. So 3 of us here were healing it alongside Jack as well.
Mm.
So obviously DT, you had a massive break. How did that feel coming in and healing a mythic end boss expansion where obviously it's hard? And you're also playing probably arguably the least favourite raid healer in a resto druid.
Yep. So to give a little backstory, so it was kind of hard for me to find a guild because I was looking for a guild at the end of an expansion, which is always very hard.
Especially this one.
Especially this one. Plus, I didn't have any logs for some reason. My logs from World of Warcraft are gone. Luckily, I had some YouTube clips of me actually killing the last boss, Archimount, on Mythic, and I found this guild. Going into it, I was way under geared. I didn't have any corruption. Had to get all my gear in like 1 or 2 runs, and had to get used to the new feeling of resto healing. Because the first day I was like, "Where's my healing touch?" Yeah, you don't have it anymore. So it's a little bit getting used to it. I did not expect at all to kill the last boss at all. The reason I joined, as I told Jack, who recruited me, I was trying to gear myself up, get used to the classes, to get ready for Shadowlands and start there. Because I did not expect to kill Nazoth on Mythic. Because I was just way undergeared, and I figured all the good groups, are formed already at the end of the expansion. And a lot of guilds already stopped the expansion as well. So the first couple pulls on Azoth, I was so overwhelmed, but that's kind of normal on progression because a lot of DPS, well, everyone is taking unnecessary damage, getting used to the mechanics. You're you seem to be healing all the time, but people are just dying. It seems so overwhelming and cannot be done. But then slowly, as we progressed, it became better and better, and went pretty quickly. So, but that's also because our first raid, was after the Carapace kill. We killed them halfway through our raid evening. So we decided to watch the video as a guild and then have a couple of bosses. But that's not really how you can progress really well. So
No, that's good. It's good to hear a honest opinion as well, because obviously it's not easy, and you obviously were playing arguably probably is the worst raid healer in it really.
Yep.
At the moment. I think Druid obviously they're that powerful in M+. They couldn't be as good in raids.
Yep.
So
Good.
Shadowlands.
And then obviously the complete opposite is Frothy. How did it feel playing arguably the best, the strongest healer, with given corruptions and Azerite traits?
A good job really, because it was still hard. So yeah, I suppose I've not got a lot to compare it to as a healer, because it's not something I've done before, and it was the reason why, because I only started healing in not even BFA, just this patch. So my only experience of healing dungeons, say like so higher keys and raids, was just this patch. So I did think I picked a good one to get me going on, because they're definitely strong. Like you said, strongest healer in the game at the moment.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason why I picked up Discipline as an alt as well, just to validate the fact that I could actually heal. Because it's it's very hard to tell if you can or not when you're quite literally locked into pressing just one button, and that is no exaggeration.
Yeah, disc is challenging as well. It's all about knowing the fight, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, healing as a Holy Paladin, it was definitely actually more comfortable for me to go into Holy Paladin because it was melee, and I've always played melee. It was actually unusual for me to go into a ranged role.
Yeah.
I started off hating the fight. I think just because it is hard and it is long.
Yeah.
But I think one of the real sort of benefits of the fight and a real motivator of the fight is the fact that it is scripted.
Yeah.
So they are set phases on timers, and they are set mechanics, and there's very little RNG, but besides the sort of eye placement, which is it matters, but it's negligible in the grand scheme of things. And I think you can look on logs and you can see average pull times are always going up and up, and it sounds like it seems like when you're banging your head against the mind gate for a night and a half, like fucking hell,
Yeah, and I think
it doesn't feel like we're getting anywhere, and then the next week you're flying through it, and then you're banging your head against the anguish phase, and it just takes that a bit of reflection sometimes, I think, because if you actually look at our raids, we didn't actually have a night of regression. I think you said that before, DT.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
we regressed for we had a few troll hours, most definitely. But generally, every raid night we always ended at a later percentage.
Yeah, we
or a
definitely
lower
progressed,
percentage.
and I think we made some changes where we took you into Psychus 1 to solo heal it, because obviously
Yeah, that
Paladin's
was
been strong.
daunting as well. Like I was kind of like, I seen all these other paladins doing it. I was like, maybe you're supposed to do that, but then I realized like I am on my own here.
I
But
think it made
was
it a lot
fine.
easier.
I think our steady progression also was due to the fact that there was a lot more preparation. There were a lot more hours spent outside of the raid than inside of the raid. We recorded every raid. We rewatched every raid, paused, see what we could tweak, be better with our raid leader, see what he could call out better, see mistakes people are doing. Because it's so scripted, it is easy to do. It's more difficult on an RNG fight, but if it's so scripted, you can really tune out your cooldowns and everything that's going on. So I think our progression is also due to that.
I think that's been the big difference for me compared to other guilds I've been in. Just the amount of we have a social guild, but like the amount of willingness and preparation gone into it. Like I think Frothy mentioned it after we actually got the kill, but on a Sunday night we didn't hit a wall, but we was going wrong somewhere, and I think there's people on Discord for like 11 hours the next day before the actual raid.
Yeah.
I think DT was on at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were.
showing his
So, you know,
replay.
we ended, a couple of shout-outs actually because the combination of like Rex's paint skills, Zami's just
We'll get
game,
some of them paint skills on it. Yeah.
Zami in combination with like Zami's just game and fight knowledge, really smart guy.
And also
Yeah.
Gloom.
And Gloom actually, shout out to Gloom. So he's a friend from outside the guild who's
Big up Gloom.
recently they got cutting edge a little bit before us, but he was definitely, we used him for reference quite a lot for sure.
Yeah.
And obviously DT recording all the fights, so the combination of that and the afterwork that we put into that, like that Sunday night, I think, where we nearly killed it. So we were getting to like 4%, 5%, stuff like that. Yeah, like a few of us DT and a couple of us at 8 in the morning. We were watching VODs from for like a good 10 hours, and
You've got to do it on your guild.
yeah.
Progressing.
But I mean, it works because the next day it took us 5 pulls and it was dead. Or essentially, we killed it twice because it reset on like 0.01%.
Yeah. For the second pull, we go to 0.2%.
Yeah, reset.
That's all part of the video which you'll have seen where Docky was cheering, but we didn't actually kill it. But obviously we recorrected it. I think we finished that raid. We killed it in 5 pulls, so we had most of that off.
Yeah.
Which is quite good.
And I think touching on what we touched on before about our main vision was to like build this guild dynamic and get this team solid, not for this tier, but actually the proof has been shown just what we've done in this tier, and that same mentality, and those same attitudes going into Shadowlands where it's brand new content, we've got a lot more time. I think I'm feeling really positive about how the team's going to do.
Well,
Bathoria.
One of our strong suits is also we spend a lot of time outside of WoW together as well. Obviously online, but we have movie nights together, FIFA together. We've played Smite together.
WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, Factorio. We play pretty much anything together, or just hang out. People are just calling into Discord from their car or from work. Just to say hi. So that just attests to how strong the team is, and that is also what helps you get through the raids, because it really is a team.
I'm filling up here.
I am, already, I'm sat here in the UK, but I'm well versed on the Danish traffic at peak times. I would have never achieved without this skill.
I think I can order a McDonald's in Zami's national language as well now. I've heard him do it that many times.
And we also found out it's the same time in Africa as in the UK.
Fact for the viewers, Johnny lives in Africa, 10 minutes off the coast of Africa, and apparently it's the same time as the UK. So there you go. There's a bit of knowledge for you all. But that's good. So that's great to get, obviously, 2 healers' perspectives and all that jazz. Luke, you play the demon, you play melee. You're in the midst of it.
Before we go on to me, because this is something I'm interested in, maybe the viewers, some viewers which might not be so knowledgeable in raiding the high end and how it works. Just while you have all 3 healers here, like how did you manage your raid cooldowns? Did you kind of just do the boss bit by bit and kind of we can use cooldown here? Did you have a dialogue going out throughout it? And how did you find it?
The first thing we did was make a channel. Healers. That was important because whilst we were raiding and everyone were talking, we were all organising raid cooldowns. I think it took us a few attempts for DT to sort of understand it, and I think once we realised, for argument's sake, the salvation rotation and when we could get it back up.
I think like any fight, typically what you have your healers do, or your healing officer, or whoever, is they go through the logs. You sort of work backwards because you already know what abilities do big damage. So on the Zoth, it's sort of Torment, Eternal Torment, and Anguish. So basically, you know what abilities you're going to be basing your cooldowns around.
Quite an easier one, isn't it?
Yeah. So you go back in time because you basically want to make sure that you've got your strongest cooldowns. Or the mentality, the typical approach is you want to make sure you've got the strongest cooldowns for the mechanics at the end of the fight. Because at the end of the fight, people are low mana, the fight's getting harder, squeaky bums happening, all the rest of it.
Which
So
we saw.
like,
Yeah,
we want to make
yeah.
sure we've got a spirit link. We want to make sure we've got a salvation.
Yep.
And you typically say, okay, this anguish here, I need a salvation. You work back in time, and you're like, right, when's the next time I can use that, and it'll be up for here. And that's typically how you approach these things. So
So you guys doing that all behind the scenes? Because I didn't hear
Yeah.
much of
No,
it
Yeah.
on
No.
Discord,
Well,
or I didn't
mean,
hear
Yeah.
Rex telling you to do
after
anything.
Rex told us off for announcing mana potions and when who was doing what, I think
Yeah.
we thought so we were doing it behind the scenes. I think
Yeah.
we realised
there was
quite quickly.
there
when
was a
the
big
mana
switch
potions
though.
were.
There was a big switch though, because in the beginning, on the first pools, or let's say halfway through the pools, we organized our raid cooldowns from the beginning of the fight. Okay, this is the first damage coming in. Use this. That's the next damage coming in. Use that. And then eventually, once we got further, the raid cooldowns became less important in the beginning of the fight because people were taking less damage. They know the mechanics. They know what to dodge, or they should. So it was a lot easier for us to manage the beginning of the fight. So then I went backwards. Well, for me personally, I went backwards because I have so many different cooldowns I can use with the trinket. I have like 30 things I have to use throughout the fight, which are not healing spells. So I went to the anguish phase because we really need the healing there, and just counted backwards and see what can be available in the beginning of the fight, and just kind of like that. And because it's so scripted, I could count everything out, like when to use my mana regen, and that's how we figured the mana potions. So for the people who are progressing on the Zoth, two healers were using their mana potion or their time to drink when we're stacked after the second Psychus, and then two other healers could drink before we went into the mine gate. So there was a little bit of room there that two healers could drink. So that's how we arranged it.
I think
Kind of hard for me to plan cooldowns.
but you're a holy paladin. Your wings
Yeah.
are up quicker.
It's
than mine
actually-
Do you have a cooldown? Aren't you just currently in like always buffed?
It's
You just always got
actually-
wings, don't you?
It's
You don't get a
actually
cooldown.
it's actually a hindrance, because
Oh my god, it must
Oh,
be awful.
the Holy Paladin is complaining. Holy!
no, it's because like
Right,
to be
alright,
fair, I've not watched a VOD of us yet where I haven't had wings up. Whenever I kind of look for me, I'm like, what am I doing? What mechanic am I doing? Where I must be? I have wings up, so that's the kind of I think one time in one of our first kill on Mort or something, I think my uptime on wings was something like 85%.
Yeah,
That's
that's
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Honestly, ridiculous. Like,
But it's hard because you're like, okay, I use wings on, like, take Hiveman for example. You're right. I use wings on pull, and then my wings will be up for the next change, yeah, because it's just over a minute or whatever, and you know that. But then you use wings, and then you get 2 procs of Ineffable Truth. Your wings is back up. You want to use it, because if you don't use it, you're getting 2 more procs, and then you just wasted 1. So you fucking use it, and then guess what? It's not up. And so
Yeah.
it's a double-edged sword, because I think the way you're playing it is like, if you absolutely know that you need wings for a section. So for example, an example is when we were the Mind Grasp and the Paranoia DT, when it's just us two.
Yeah.
And when everyone's stacking for the second DPS phase before that gets disgusting. Like, the amount of damage that goes out when we come out of that grasp is obscene.
Yep.
And I needed wings for that. If I didn't have wings for that, people are dead. And it is
Yep.
simple as that.
Yep.
And so if you have an explicit moment where you're like, look, I need it, then you potentially do have to say, I'm going to hold it, and if I get procs, I get procs, and I'm just going to waste the use of it. But
I think one thing with a Holy Paladin, and I've seen kills of Holy Paladins where they're stacking 3 to 4 in the off kill, because obviously they're great. One thing I struggled with personally was, let's say I'm hemming, the red stuff is a real issue if you want to him on a torment, for argument's sake.
yeah, DT probably has the same issue.
Yeah, with tranquility.
DT with it's very hard to commit to heal a torment with him with the red stuff. So that's a big watch out. It's good fun and it's hilarious because Rex is like, "Why are you standing in red stuff?" I'm like, "Well, I wanted to finish my hymn."
I mean,
Are you really a priest if you can't finish your hymn?
It is worth it though.
Harry still managed it, so
Yeah, I mean, we had one guy fonting through the red stuff, so hey ho.
he
Shout out
loved
if you're
the red
watching it, bro.
stuff. Yeah, he did like it.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
that's good. So Luke, obviously, good, great question. Back to you though. We want to know what's the melee perspective and what was hard, what was good. Give us some insight, bro.
I think it was a very weird fight for me because I play a Havoc Demon Hunter, and the whole
Pretty easy.
thing about Havoc Demon Hunters is, none of their like Demon Hunter abilities do damage, right? For this whole last tier, none of their abilities do damage. We rely on Bothered Power, which is Infinite Stars or Twilight Dev. And for in Zoth, kind of hard to get the best use out of either of them. Because you want the boss damage. So you'd think Infinite
Yeah.
Stars, but because there's so much cleave and there's so much adds,
Yeah.
it doesn't really work that way. So then you go Twilight Dev, you just find out you're doing more damage, and it's kind of like padding really
Yeah.
on everything else, and you're not doing any boss damage. So it was definitely a very weird one for me. I was going through all the logs. I think I ran about 20 different setups, and I think Naz over Demon Hunter, he went through like 20 different setups. It was changing like every other fight, just thinking, what do we do on this fight? It was a very confusing. It's definitely the most confusing boss I've had to do as a Demon Hunter.
Isn't that the fun part though?
Yeah, sure.
It
that's
is
a
very fun.
challenge.
I mean, that is the stuff I enjoy.
Mm.
But it's even though now I've killed it now, I still won't even be able to tell you what the best setup is for a Demon Hunter that fight.
So we expecting you to go back on Nazoth as a rogue.
What?
Are you going to be going back to Nazoth on your rogue?
If you boost me through Mythic Plus, yeah.
Uh,
You agree to that, then yeah.
I think
But
I think will be interesting actually. I mean pre-patches are always interesting because they're either it makes the content ridiculously easy,
but
it just kind of messes it up. But this is a really interesting one because we've never experienced borrowed power like corruption before. You
so
know,
what do you actually? Yeah. So what is the best setup though?
I mean, you could argue the artifact.
The best setup, and you can see it on Warcraft logs. If you go to the top, it's what I went with in the end. Is Twilight Dev Expedient. You just have to deal with. You're not going to do much boss damage, but those Twilight Devs is going to, it's going to get the synapses down in the Psychus. It's going to get the bashes and the corrupted minds down. So it might not be doing much damage to the.
It's so much of the fight though. They are.
It is, yeah. So that's why it's counted towards the pass. But if I'm taking them down, if I'm doing all that stuff, you don't have to let your warlocks do their cooldowns on the bashes because you need to get the bashes down. You don't need your mages doing a combust. I know they did do, but like.
Isn't that also the important thing? Because you are taking care of those ads, so the other classes can focus more on the boss. It's the team that comes together then.
Yeah. The mages that pump the Psychus is down.
Yep.
Hopefully, it just alleviates a bit of a DPS on that side because I was if you look at ad damage, I was pumping.
Good insight.
But as a melee specifically, because I can talk about the melee side as well. Yeah, it isn't actually that hard of a fight for melee. I wasn't in the Psych. I think the hardest fight for melee would have been the Psychus one, which I wasn't a part of.
Yep.
Yeah, which Prophy's witnessed many deaths in there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The fire damage, I think it works a lot like Freehold, where you kind of have to stick together loosely as a group,
and then
you move.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's like the cannon barrage. I mean, basically you kind of stand there, like you said, wait for it to come, and then move. And because you're all melee, especially the poor tank at the back, you've got to try and not just paint a really big orange sort of dot that they're just unavoidable. I didn't think it was very hard. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it was. So really, there's not that much damage that goes out there. Occasionally, because what happens in there is like the tentacles just attack people, and the only time it gets edgy is like when the tentacles all focus the same person, like Hal's black, and then he blinks away on 10%, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, so I healed that one first as well, and one thing I noticed was me and Jack, we both went in together, and all we were doing was DPSing, because as long as no one stood in fire,
not a lot of damage.
We didn't really have an issue. We were DPSing more than all.
Yeah, that was during progression for the viewers. So we first I guess Jack and Kenny went in, so Holy Priest and Aristo Shaman. But eventually we switched to the Holy Paladin going in solo, and that was the right decision because we did progress a lot better after that.
Yeah. And I think the second Psyker is
Second one's
definitely
harder for me.
the second Psyker is definitely better to have two healers in there that can put out a lot, because me
Yeah.
and Luke were both in there, and there were times where we went in and them ads in there beat hard, and
Yeah.
there were times where we were all on like 10%, and me and Jack were just popping them. I think I popped a salvation in the second one at one point because it was that intense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so on the flip side, again from a melee side, is you don't want any other melee in there whatsoever apart from a Havoc Demon if you're putting anything in there.
Yeah.
Because the passive, which as Java does, which just constantly slows you until you die, basically. It's only a Demon Hunter which can kind of deal with that, because Vengeful Retreat takes off your slow. You know, you got the blur
It's
to
overpowered.
reduce the damage.
So
You'll
it's
see
doing
when I
like
go in.
70k damage every 2 seconds, isn't it?
It's 70k every two seconds, yeah.
We've got some right overpowered classes. We've got a Holy Paladin, Glimmering, shocking everyone. We've got a Demon Hunter that doesn't get slowed. Then you've got a poor Restore Druid and Priest that can't even
Well-
aim or Tranquility.
Another tip for any demon hunters out there, like
That
pretty
part
much
is really.
all content in BFA, you will never walk overpowered. Just because of that Sarkis 2 phase, I do run Soul Vending, which is the leech ability. You know, that really helped him at Sarkis 2 phase, so when I'm damaging, I'm taking those 70k ticks, at least I'm leeching a lot of it
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
good.
like pretty much the only boss you'd ever run Soul Vending.
So let's give a tip each per class before we move on.
Oh,
Luke,
that's my tip. Then.
Ask Luke's DT. What's your tip to all the rest of the druids out there on this fight? If you had to give them one.
If I have to get one, the most important thing is to learn to fight. You are a cushion healer. You're not a throughput healer. So plan your fight out and make sure you blend well with the other healers. Know your place. Do not try to spam regrowth. You'll run out of mana. You're a cushion healer. Do what you do best and stick to that. And then trust your other teammates.
Good advice. Maybe want to play Restore Druid if I'm honest.
Can you choose what healer you want to play every 20 minutes?
Yeah, that's the like the joy of this podcast.
Yeah.
I can just swap, and Rex can't do all about it because I can blame it on the viewers.
Yeah, we'll talk about this priest some more, and then we'll switch to disc.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Frothy, what's your paladin advice apart from cast Holy Shock?
I think that every Holy Paladin, who's playing Holy Paladin right now, should pick up one of these. This interesting looking contraption.
What the hell is that?
Basically, if you
Far-away vape?
No, you basically can use it to train your finger muscle there. You can increase the resistance because.
Oh, it's for your one skill?
It's for your
No,
holy
yeah,
shock finger, is it?
That's
Your
it.
holy shock finger.
That's for
Which
my.
one's your Holy Shock finger? Can you show us your special Holy Shock finger?
It's the middle finger right there. It's no, that's that's not a joke though. This is my Holy Shock finger because my Holy Shock's on number 2.
It looks very trained.
Can you go to the camera for us and just sort of
That's
say, "Hi, my name's Frothy, and this is my Holy Shock finger."
I'm a Holy Paladin for filling out those cheeks, and this is my Holy Shock finger. And I would say, prepare for some pain, and that is no joke because you're going to be pressing that motherfucker like crazy.
I like
A
it.
serious tip, actually. Just remember that you're melee. It's a bit different from other healers. I mean, I'm used to it because I've always played melee DPS.
Yeah.
But generally, I have a harder time as melee, and just be aware that
No,
it's a bit of an odd perspective for me.
I think if I go back to me for 2 tips because I'm that good.
2 tips. Look, it's
tips.
like a blow queue, innit? Fucking hell.
As a Havoc Demon Hunter, apart from maybe Warriors, you're the most mobile class when it comes to paranoia. And if you double jump and fell rush, you can actually jump over people.
Yeah.
What I was getting on is look out for your Holy Paladins. You know they're hugging the boss, so if you get linked with a Holy Paladin, you can just fell rush onto him straight away.
Stuck in mud.
Yeah. So the Holy Paladin use one skill and he doesn't have to move.
Don't move.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, so let's just say if you get into the game, play a Holy Paladin, right?
Yeah.
I loved getting linked with Frothy because I didn't even need to look at where I was going. I just turned the camera to a boss and just fell rush. It was easy.
That's good. So I think from a Holy Priest perspective, I give a tip. I think it's quite easy. Obviously, you're very, very specific in terms of what you do. You're there to fucking heal.
Press heal button.
You see damage, you heal. Obviously you salve. People don't agree with it at the moment. I think people are stat stacking. I'm definitely saying stacking everable truth. It works. There were some fights where I was getting off 3 to 4 salvations, which is insane. But the biggest one for me, and this is for all healers really, fucking damage. If you're not a paladin and you're not and like you're a shaman, a druid, whatever, and you're not damaging, I don't know why you're not. Our guild, we're parsing 90 pluses for all our healers for damage, because all we're doing is they don't cost mana. We're DPSing. There's a lot of downtime in that fight. It's a long fight. There is a lot of downtime. When Nizoth opens up, we can burn, or pad as Rex would say, which I still don't really understand. So my advice is healers damage, because it frustrates me when I see healers not damaging when they can be.
So Ken, I've got a lot of emails and reviewers are wanting to know about one tip from the last video you put out. So when it comes to when you're on about 6-8% on the boss,
yeah.
Do you purposely go into anguish to get your angel form so you can
so as you can all see from that video, I purposely died on the last anguish. Because what it allowed us to do is that when the Mindgrass came in and it
how did you do
that?
Did you just jump straight into anguish?
Yeah. So you do like a bit of a Tony Hawk's, like a bit of an ollie kickflip into the anguish. I die, go into obviously Jesus of the world, and then whilst everyone's getting pulled away, I'm hemming. Everyone's safe. They then res me to 100 sanity. I'm the only one on 100 sanity. If you go mind control, don't matter. The priest is alive. We've got another 10-15 seconds to kill the boss.
Just so the viewers know that's all intentional.
Yeah.
Intentional. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think we've had a solid first episode there. We've had some great tips, insights, everything. What's everyone doing? Everyone obviously now knows who we are. We're moving forward. We're going to have one guest on a week minimum, and we'll sort of get their intros as well and what they're doing and what they think. We'll get a lot of Shadowlands content on here in terms of once we do a bit more research into what we're all playing. Obviously, myself and Frothy haven't decided yet. I think guys were agreed on maybe one episode a week.
Yep.
Yeah. Doable,
we can do that. I do want to give a shout out to our technical engineer Johnny. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, big shout out to Johnny. Actually, that's the point. So Johnny was on the YouTube trailer. Obviously he's dropped out the podcast, so we're now 4 rather than 5. So if you see Johnny in the streets in Africa, just give him an elbow. So yeah, I think it's been good, boys. Anything we've missed or you want to say? What we're feeling? Are we feeling happy?
Yeah, we're feeling good. Please make sure to check out our other videos. We've posted our Nazoth kill. Pretty funny. Also, our guildie Elena made a video, posted it on Reddit. Definitely check that out, even if you're not into WoW or it's worth a watch. Definitely, we're not just doing that because we're part of it, but it's must-see material. Yeah, it's very good.
It'll be in the description.
It'll be in there.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah, we'll put it in.
So that's a wrap. Obviously, thanks for joining everyone.
Yep.
And remember, eat fish, train fish. Yeah, should we all come in like that?
Oh, I was doing too. Like around my titties. Yeah, let's go, boys.